Hey guys, what is going on? Kevin Cage back with another cryptocurrency video with daily news on Ripple XRP. So let's get right into some information. I have a fun-filled video for you guys today with some great articles and info for all you newcomers as well. But to kick things off, let's do a little speculation. Shared by Jack the Rippler, and we're talking about 589. You know the whole deal with all these predictions with Bearable Guy the past few years and Swift's code. So look at the significance of these numbers. So we have Swift's code is 589, and that is the branch code they use with all of their messaging systems. We have 589, meaning the COMEX or COMEX rule. And again, that is basically a rule for special price fluctuation limits. And what it does is put circuit breakers. The CME actually initiated this, and they put circuit breakers on the price movement. So what a circuit breaker is really, in this case, the CME specifying the price limit that prevents 5% increases or decreases in the price during after hours trading. And Digital Asset Investor, he made a great video a while back, as I recall, and he was just questioning why we even need to have circuit breakers in a free market. Is it really to maintain consumer confidence and protect them, or is it to protect their own interests as always and keep this whole Ponzi scheme going in terms of the precious metals market? So maybe 589 could also represent that crypto would be, completely flip everything over and flip the world of finance on its head, revolutionize everything, and create that level playing field that we keep hearing about. So interesting speculation. Again, the COMEX rule, 589, it's, with certain metals futures, option contracts, and everything. And it really is interesting why we would need circuit breakers in this type of market. All right. And then next, another thing I want to add is 589, interestingly enough, 58.9 is actually the atomic mass of the element cobalt. And again, we already know what cobalt is. It's, that new mechanism that allows XRP transactions, instead of taking 4 seconds, to go all the way down to about 1 second. So Ripple talks about cobalt a lot, but they've been quiet recently. It's just a new algorithm. Again, they're looking to improve the speed and dependability of the platform. And it'll allow all these transactions to go through 1 second versus the current 4 seconds. And speed is probably what most users want to see. Of course, there's different inferior assets that might have faster speed. But again, XRP has everything. All right, now the Cobalt update's going to help the Ripple network. They're going to be a lot more consistent, reliable, of course, a lot far superior to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and any other digital assets. And it's actually going to help the XRP tokens themselves flow better throughout the transactions with very, very little risk of backing up. We've never had errors on the ledger compared to, Bitcoin. There's no double spending issue. It's superior in every way if you're, a techie. But, all right, you get the gist. I'm very curious when they're actually going to initiate the Cobalt update as well. And then, of course, Nostro accounts, all those accounts sitting idle. And then 589 means knowledge and hope. So that's pretty interesting. What I want to go to now, if we're talking about Nostro and Vostro accounts, these large accounts that have trillions and trillions of dollars sitting idle, is a kind of back and forth between Stuart XRP and Galgatron. I'm going to just cover the parts that have to do with this conversation. So right here, Stuart XRP. Instead of holding local currency in Nostro accounts around the world, trading parties, banks or third-party market makers on behalf of banks can hold XRP on their own balance sheets and use it to make markets with any other currency. By consolidating liquidity to service international payments from many disjointed international Nostro accounts into one XRP pool, respondent banks allocate less total liquidity to service the same volume of global payments. Here is how. The bank only has to hold its domestic currency and maintain one account with XRP. The bank only needs enough XRP on hand to service its largest expected payment obligation. By making markets directly between its domestic currency and XRP, the bank minimizes the number of intermediaries involved and their markup on spreads, and that's very, very important. The bank would hold enough XRP on its balance sheet to handle its largest payment and could top up as needed from real-time exchanges. And this has been said. I've heard, David Schwartz say this as well, just explaining everything. And then there's a lot of people just asking, will banks actually want to buy and hold such a volatile asset? And according to Ripple and all the people at Ripple, yes. But again, Galgatron, very pessimistic, but he is a long-term believer in XRP. He's the guy that just tells it how it is. He voices his opinion, has a great blog. And I mean, we need people. We can't have all hype. We need people to be realistic or have lower expectations as well. But I believe he's 100% invested in XRP, and that's it. And he writes a lot of good information. And again, Stuart quotes Brad Garlinghouse about banks that will be custodying digital assets. And then let's see here. There was another point I wanted to make. Yep, so basically the version of the future, and then Galgatron's 2 cents right here. Loosely ordered, and he has no idea when it's going to occur, but he says that there's going to be regulatory clarity, of course, exchange oversight, exchange custodianship, wider XRP adoption, that's a given, XRP price rise, and then after reaching a higher price, then it'll become stable when more so mass adoption occurs, and then banks holding reserves of XRP. So either way, even if him and Stuart disagree on, maybe the entire amount of Nostro and Vostro accounts, banks are still going to be holding reserves just because they have that need. All right. Really quick, I am Legion. So just sharing this 2015 Ryan Zagone. This is a great article. So I just want to pop into this really quick. So again, Ripple, an internet protocol for interbank payments. And this was back in April. And again, this is a great thing. I'm going to speed through this and just go to the parts that I like. So the technological breakthrough using the internet for settlement. And there's some good graphics right here. So Ripple Labs is a technology company developing internet-based solutions for FIs, financial institutions, to enable 24/7, 365 real-time settlements. With a clear focus on settlement infrastructure technology, our solutions rest at the bottom layer of the payment stack, complementing and supporting the rules, governance, and standards of existing payment systems. We're not trying to replace it. We are trying to be the strong foundation to help propel this ecosystem forward. So as you can see here, the foundational layer of an interbank payments network. And this is the entire network as we see it today. And Ripple wants to place themselves here at the settlement, where it matters most. Most consumers think that everything's settled instantaneously, but really there's credits and debits that have not been settled. So of course we see the application layer. Underneath there we have banks. Then there's all kinds of risk and governance that's accompanied by that. Rule sets, messaging standards like Swift, and then settlement infrastructure. And that is Ripple. And so this is the target. This is where we really want to go. And if, seeing a Ripple, the private company, actually named on governments and banks that are worth trillions of dollars isn't enough proof that they are a major consideration, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe just go buy some Dogecoin. So again, we are not attempting to create a new payment system. Instead, we are focusing on enhancing existing ones by removing structural inefficiencies that create unnecessary risks and costs to payment service providers, PSPs, and their customers. So we are doing so by collaborating with the key members of the existing system, including payment service providers, central banks, regulators, and clearinghouse operators. To achieve this, we created an open internet protocol, a public tool that is free to use, that enables payment service providers to make necessary debits and credits to settle a payment. Rather than rely on an intermediary, for example, a central counterparty, a PSP can use Ripple to securely and efficiently transact directly with other payment service providers' ledgers directly. Furthermore, this service does not rely on Ripple Labs. It is instead operated by participating payment service providers and the third parties they authorize. All right, and then almost done here, guys. So expanding the Internet of Knowledge to the Internet of Value. This is not the first time that the Internet protocols have been used as a neutral tool to facilitate interoperability. Early email domains existed as fragmented, siloed networks that were not interoperable at all, much like payment networks today. So again, we figured out that communication via email, but we still don't have anything built up entirely and, to create an interoperable landscape. So to address this issue, the industry adopted SMTP, and that's an acronym for Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, and it was a common standard, still is used today all the time without even noticing it. And it's a common standard that provides seamless connectivity between networks and enables the interoperability we know. So this and other similar protocols resulted in the creation of what we think of as today as the Internet of Knowledge. All right, and then as we continue here, so again, similar to emails enabled by SMTP, settlements enabled by Ripple are instant, every 3 to 5 seconds. So you can just say 4 seconds if you want. Always enabled and always available 24/7, even on weekends, which is awesome. And rely on a distributed network of servers, meaning there's no central point of failure. Furthermore, Ripple can support any currency pairing. And that is huge because today there are only, a few primary currency pairs in all of these other countries that don't have that liquidity or forced to go to those corridors. And meaning it can facilitate both domestic, euro to euro within, their own country or their own currency, and cross-border, whether, it's the euro to other fiats as well. So this does not require the use of an unfamiliar currency as a medium of exchange. And exactly as I just said. So by using Ripple as an internet-enabled settlement infrastructure, FIs can connect and make payments directly with each other, eliminating the costs, risks, and delays that come with relying on intermediaries and central counterparties. This effort will form the start of the Internet of Value. All right, and then again, just in summary, it does include a virtual currency, XRP, but is the feature of Ripple. It's not the core component. And you know what? I was reading something today, and people were like, what if they never use XRP? What if XRP is just a fundraiser for them to continue using Ripple? And that is ridiculous. Their whole target is XRP. They have a bunch of capital in XRP. And even the company said that is ludicrous. That's the most illegal thing that they would ever do, and they are the biggest top players working with government agencies. They are the most legitimate organization I've personally seen. Everyone on that team on Ripple is extremely professional. They have everybody from Facebook, Google, Apple, various, government officials. There's just a lot of fear in this marketplace, and people are just seeming like it seems too good to be true, and I agree with you. But the thing is, it's not too good to be true because this is not going to be instant. This is not going to happen overnight like you want. You can keep checking the prices. You can keep watching these videos to inform yourself, but you have to be healthy about it. All right? There is an absolute future in XRP, in my opinion. Please do your own research. If you have anything, like FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, send it my way. Send me a direct message on Twitter. I'll take a look when I can, and I'll at least, talk to some other people that are a lot smarter than me as well. One gentleman sent me an article and some information about Ripple and saying what happens if, you actually don't need that value of XRP and you can, use 1,000 XRP tokens to signify maybe $100 million transfer, and it's actually within the message, so therefore the price of XRP does not need to have a high value to actually send it. And that was completely false. Again, it is settlements. You are exchanging for fiat. Even David Schwartz, the CTO of Ripple, has addressed this. There's going to not only be actual utility, which will create that price increase that they want, but it's going to help them use and increase the use case for XRP. And you're not even taking into account the multiplier effects. All right. So some of you, say, okay, I'm going to sell XRP at the next all-time high around $3, $4. Some of you say that XRP will absolutely hit $10 to $20, but it might take some time. And then there's some people that are extremely bullish and say it's going to hit $1,000, $2,500. And in my opinion, I have no idea. But as an investor, I see the upside. And I see the potential, the risk to reward, and that is why anything under $1 is extremely undervalued. You can go put money in your 401k, your IRA, any type of mutual fund, or even just the basic stock markets, which is a complete bubble at this point. I am not touching those. I'm staying away. I'm getting ready for this transfer of wealth. So I know I'm just ranting a little bit, but guys, this needs to be said. There's people in every video that comment some fearful tactic. They literally ask me some question, and I cannot answer 100 questions when I'm trying to, working full time, making videos as well, and doing some other side businesses. I don't have time to answer each question and give an in-depth answer because even if I type 5 sentences, you're going to have more questions, and it'll turn into a huge thread. And I just don't have the time for that. So I'm trying to make these videos to address what I see. If there's anything you want me to address, please comment down below. If I don't answer, I apologize. But I'll usually try to take a screenshot of it and address it in the next video. And if I don't know, I'll let you know that I do not know and I'm going to look into it because I absolutely will. So again, guys, with that, I will see you in the next video.